Hello guys, Steve here. Here's the next update on my track. Didn't get to do one last week. I was a bit busy and ran out of time, but that's okay. So for the last couple of weeks I've done a fair bit, mainly wiring on this side. You can see there's track everywhere, you'll see why in a minute. Basically, I still can't make up my mind whether I want to use the Unitrack's DS64 or the manual turnouts. And as I alluded to the other week, I've decided to use both. So these will sit on the outside here. I'll eventually take them off and run a black cloth underneath and knead it and all up. And that'll bolt underneath, but for testing and so forth at the moment, I'm just leaving them up here. It's always a good idea if you've never used DS64s before to label everything. If you've got more than one of them, that's for sure, because when you're under the track crawling around you can identify them a bit easier. So this DS64 will control the first 4 sets of turnouts, same as those, and then we come along to the next set, which I've just consecutively numbered, and I've got around to the 12th set. I had a few problems last week with the Kato Unitrack. You can lay it all out the way you think you like it, and when you actually come along and put your underlay and nail it down, especially on the corners, the angles change just a little bit more because you've got this little bit to play with. And it doesn't seem like much, it's only a mil or so, but over a distance it can, and I actually found that a couple of my corners were out just a little bit, and playing around with fixed set Unitrack can be really frustrating. In fact, that's why I walked away from it last week, but anyway, it's come good. The other thing you'll notice that I've done is I've started to put the backboards on here now with just a little bit of foam. This is just 3 mil MDF, which I like because you can bend it pretty much any way you want. This area here now, which is where the first coal mine is, all that track is sitting behind me. So I've put the foam and I've put a layer of sculptor mould on top of that. It's about this first section, that's 1 bag, second section 2 bags, and the third section here 3 bags. So you go through a bit of it. I just prefer to do it this way because it gives you a nice textured base to work off. So when you're putting your ground cover and so forth on top, it's not totally flat. It gives a bit more realism, I think. I just had a bit of extra left over, so playing around with some of the rock faces and so forth, I'll probably use plaster on there. Here I've just used the old traditional newspaper and plaster cloth onto that, and down the side here as well. Coming around the back is about as far as I got, just working on this hill. I'm trying to sculpt in a bit of river and so forth, coming into a bit of a dry bed into the bottom here, and around behind the second mill to here. I'm a bit worried about my elevations. You can't see it now because I've pulled a lot of it down, but going from this track here and up and around, I think it might be a bit steep, and the same on this end. As you can see, it's quite a drop. I'll make that gradual, but yeah, a little bit worried about that. So I've got my backboards in here as well, going into the back of Uniontown. I've redone that corner so it wasn't as sharp, and you might remember my level crossings here. I've now narrowed the angle so I can push them together. It looks a lot better now just going straight across into Uniontown. With some buildings, haven't done too much more around this end because I've been focusing on the other. I'll just show you around the back now too. Hell of a mess. So this is my staging area now. I've finalised this a bit more. I've put a couple of more tracks on there for staging. This end, the turnaround, just been playing around with this today. As you'll see, coming down the back here, to keep the 49 inches at the far end to 49 inches here, it's 3 sets of 1 inch foam to bring that up onto level. And something I'm doing a bit different to what Steve Williams is doing here, rather than cut this off, I've decided just to run it through the back here, just only for a foot, just to be something different. So that's that part. And the final thing that I've been doing is just working out the tunnel cutout here. I made the mistake on my other layout of once I did my tunnels and I wanted to run double stack containers, and I'm sure lots of you have done this before, they start hitting. So this time I've cut my mouse hole up fairly high, and this will sit on the front around about there, and I'll build up the ground on either side, and I've tested that and the double stacks go through, which is pretty happy with. So there you go, that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. Just waiting for a lot of this liquid nails and foam to dry, and I'm going to start doing this side now with the mountains and so forth, and down the bottom. I can't really continue the wiring around to this side until I get the track back onto here and wired up and working, because as I've learned with the Kato Unitrack, if I start doing around the right hand side here and the left hand side I have to move or re-angle, then I'm going to be out. So I'll just have to be a little bit more patient, which I can't stand. Alright, that's it. We'll catch you later.